Hi, my name is Heather Newton. I'm a criminal justice major here at SLCC, and I'm going to do my persuasive presentation here on racial profiling because it's such a huge issue in the world today. And then I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Do you know anyone or have you experienced racial profiling? And in your own words, what is racial profiling to you? All right. And for my thesis for racial profiling, the purpose of this presentation is to raise awareness about racial profiling in society, bring knowledge to others, and I want to persuade my audience that racial profiling is a real problem in society and that we need to take on this issue and get rid of racial profiling because it's not fair to other people that are minorities. And then according to SPLC.org, racial profiling is unconstitutional practice of law enforcement due to the targeting of minority skin color, common forms of discrimination, and tainting the legitimacy of policing in the United States. And then who does this affect? Why is it important? And how maybe racial profiling might be okay? Racial profiling affects everyone in society. It affects the police officers. It affects the people of color. It affects everyone in society. It's not okay to minorities because we are not trusting our law enforcement, and we're not trusting our peers of other colors because we're scared we may fall victim to racial profiling. And then racial profiling is unconstitutional into the 4th and the 14th Amendment. It violates our rights. And in Louisiana in 2016, black adults are 4.3 likely to go to jail for a felony offense compared to one white person. And that's not okay. That's like saying that I have 4 white people right here and 1 black person doing the exact same crime, same thing, and just a black person's gonna go to jail. That's not fair. And then in some cases it might be okay because they might be committing a crime that they're not supposed to be doing. They might have warrants out, or we might arrest them because they might have warrants. They might be on probation or parole. We need to make sure that they are following the terms of release, or we might be just catching other people for other crimes. And it does help the crime rates in the area. Less crime, the better it is in that area. And then recommendations and Lafayette stats. I did 70 people from Lafayette, Louisiana on the stats and everything here. And 92% knew what racial profiling was. 81% knew someone who's experienced or having experience. And then I made sure everyone knew what racial profiling was, so they had to do an example of it. And I used 2 people. They said using race as a reason of suspecting someone of a crime, or when you think you can treat a person a certain way because of their race. Example, store owners will watch a black person and not a white person in the store to make sure they're not stealing, but a white person is just as likely to steal compared to a black person. And then 44% said they are afraid of law enforcement because they might fall victim to racial profiling, and 27% said maybe. And then recommendations to stop racial profiling in society, especially here in Lafayette, Louisiana. You can read and learn about your individual rights. You can teach and draw awareness to racial profiling. You can get with your local law enforcement in your community to do rallies, to protest against this in a good way. And then lastly, you can file reports against the person doing the racial profiling or donate to the victims by honoring someone to the American Civil Liberties Union of Louisiana, and then get the local law enforcement administration to criminal justice to ensure policing against racial profiling. We're tired of seeing these candlelight visuals honoring somebody who has fallen victim to racial profiling. We need to make a change now. We need to have something set in place that racial profiling cannot be done anymore in the United States, in Louisiana, and in Lafayette. We've seen candlelight vigils for Alton Sterling and Trayvon Martin. We do not need to see someone in our community having a candlelight vigil because they were a victim to this.